So I thought it would be fun to show you how to solve both the 4x4 and the 3x3 simultaneously, or more like multitasking. But I'll go back and forth between the two. And I learned how to solve the 3x3 about 5 years ago. It took me, I think it was 2 hours a day for about 5 days, and then I learned how to do it. And then I picked up the 4x4 about a year ago and learned how to do it. It took probably about twice as long, and it seems like it's 10 times harder, but so I can solve this one if I'm trying for speed, and I really only practice these. I'll do them once a week just so I can remember how to do them. Same thing with this one that I've done for 5 years, once a week just so I can remember how to solve it. So I'll go ahead and start on 4x4, and let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so basically with the 4x4, what you want to do is solve the 4 center ones here on the top, and generally I try to start with the white ones. And so you make a few moves and you try to keep them paired up, so I'll show you how I do that. So for example, right there, paired up a couple. Then I look for some remaining white ones to put on the top. And now for the last one, it's right over there. And so now I've got these 4, and what I want to do is now put yellows, do the same thing but with yellows on the other side. But the trick is that if you make any move here, it's going to mess up the 4 that you'd already lined up there, so you have to be careful how you do that. So first thing I'm going to do is rotate this here and bring that yellow here, and that pairs them up, but it also keeps the whites still there. There's the 3rd one, there's the 4th yellow, and I'll rotate that one around. So now I've got the 4 yellows and 4 whites, and so next thing I want to do is solve for these edges right here, get them to be white, and then whatever the side color is going to be. So I usually like to start with green and white. So I look around, and there's one, and should be another one around, there's another one. So, but again, trying to keep them in pairs is what I want to do. So if I rotate this around, that puts that one on the lower half, and I bring this one around, and that puts that on the upper half. Now they're in a pair, and I can rotate them up. And I want to do the same thing for the other 3 colors. So next I want to do red. So there's a red and white, and let's see, where's the other red and white? I see it now. Okay, so I want to rotate that, bring it around in the lower half, and then this red and white, I'll go around one more time, swivel that up, and now I've paired them up, bring them around, and I've got 2 pairs set up. And now I'm going to look for the blue and whites, and let's see, there's one, and there's the other one. Okay, so I see this one's on the top, just above middle, and if this one I bring down this way, then I can line them up as a pair, bring them around, put them up top. And then one last color to work with is the orange and white, and I see the 2 of them right there. I'll pull that one around, that's on the upper half, and the one down here, if I rotate it this way, we'll put it on the lower half. Bring the other one around so they're paired up, bring to the top. So then I essentially have a white cross there, and I need to do the corner pieces next. And I look around, I see that 2 are ready to go into place. If you see the white on the side, they're basically ready to go in place. Look at the other color, orange. So I bring this down, put that one into place, and then I see that this one can go into place here. And then 2 more corner pieces. They're not oriented correctly yet, but I can do that by rotating this one around, and then that will put the green and white in place, and then this one get the blue and white. So now I've got the top layer done. And I'll put this one aside, and totally different, but let's go ahead into the 3x3, which will seem a whole lot easier compared to the 4x4. But basically start out creating a green cross up here that matches with these middle colors on the side. So green in the middle, I need to start looking for pieces to work with. So here's a red and green that I can put up there. And I can do this move, simple move here. And that's taken care of. And now I can do the same for this one. And let's see, that one will rotate around, and again lined up yellow with yellow. And one more green is, well, there it is. Okay, so for this one I can rotate it back, rotate this over, and then bring the middle section over. So now I've created the green cross and the colors that match here. Next up are the corners. And need to do a few moves to get those ready to go into place. That puts the red one in place there. And this one will put the orange and green in place. And let's see, this one, another orange and green. And the last one here, but the green's not facing the right way, so I put it here intentionally so I can rotate it around, and then come back here, and there we have it. So I've got the top layer done on that one. Next up on this, we need to flip it over and get the corners in the right position, although they won't be in the right orientation, but we need to start with the right position. So I like to start with blue and red, and I'll find that one right there, and see if any others line up. Well, that one does. The blue and orange matches the blue and orange. This one does not, and this one does not match up, so 2 of them line up. I only want one to line up for the move that I'm about to make. So if I rotate it, I can see then if I can get just one set of colors to line up so that one piece is in the correct location, and it will happen to be green and red, matches the green and red. And just that one, rotate it around, put it in the lower left, and then do this move. And that brings that one back to its location. Still didn't get the other ones in the correct place, so I have to repeat that move one more time. Try that again. And now we've got all 4 in the correct location, as you can see, but they're not the correct orientation, so they all need to have the yellow facing up so they can match this yellow here. And the way to do this is if you have no yellow corners facing up, then you rotate this around and look for one that is facing to the left. Always look at the left corner piece, and if the yellow faces to the left, then you would do the following move I'm going to show you. If you have one piece facing up, which is the case right now, then I put it in the upper left position and do this move. And then if you have 2, you have to rotate it such that you have a yellow piece facing at you like that, and then do the move. But anyway, so in the current lineup, the way this is set up, I need to put that in that upper left position, and then I do this move Okay, and that didn't solve it, so I may have to take 2 or 3 repetitions to get it done. Okay, and now we've got all 4 lined up on the top. They're all correct except for I need to rotate this to get it around to where, for example, you see that all the blues match up and all the oranges match up. So now that we've got the corners, the next pieces to do, well, let's switch back to the 3x3. So the next thing to do on here is to get these center edge pieces into place. And we look up here for pieces that don't have any blue in them. So here's 2 already that don't have any blue. And then you look to line up the color on the side with the color like that. And then what you want to do is essentially rotate it from here down to here. So here's the move you do to make that happen. Oops, get out of the way. Gotta make sure I'm still got the camera focused on me. Okay, so I'll continue on and look for another one that doesn't have blue in it. And here's one, the red and yellow. And I want it to swivel down this way. Okay, here's one that needs to swivel down this way. So it's the same move, but I reverse the whole move, but it will still wind up in that position. And there's one left to go, and it's already in the right place, but it needs to be flipped around, so I'm going to have to do 2 moves to get it flipped around. And I just moved that one into there, so now one more move, and here we are in the correct location to get it down here. So we've done 2/3 of this one. The only thing left is the top layer. We'll get back to the 4x4, and we need to solve for these pieces right here. We need to get these correctly. All the yellow pieces need to be here and match the side color also. So the way we do that is you look for yellows in these 2 locations all the way around, and you want the color to match up with the rest of the side color and the yellow to face out on the side. So for this piece, I'm going to put it down here, but to do that I do the move starting over here. And there it is, I put it right down there. Now, I see another one with orange and yellow, but I really need it over here, so I push it over there. And then, so I have orange with the yellow on the side, and I do this move. Okay, and then just keep looking around for other ones that you can work with. There's a red with the yellow on the side, so I can do this move. Okay, and there's a green over here, but that's not where I need it. I need it to be over here. And so now I've moved over there, so I can do this. Okay, I see another green one to move over. And I keep looking, let's see, here's a red and yellow, so if I move that over to this position, and then I do the move on this side. And we have one more to go, looks like. So it's the blue and yellow. I'll bring it over here with the yellow facing that way. And then I do this. Okay, so we have the top and the bottom layers taken care of. And next thing we want to do is to get these pieces, these upper edge pieces, in the correct orientation and location. And the way to do that is we need to look for colors up here, but inverse. So instead of orange being here and green there, I need to rotate this layer around so that I have orange here and green there. So I look around and see if I have one. Nope, the only one I have is lined up incorrectly, so I can't do that one quite yet. Let me look somewhere else. Red and green, and I don't see where I can work with that one. And red and blue. Okay, it looks like this one will work. I move that over. And so you can see that this piece just needs to be rotated from here to there. You do that with the following move. It's a little bit of a longer move, but here it goes. Okay, and that put that piece there. Look for another one here. Okay, a green and a yellow, or orange. That one needs to go there. And next up, see where this green and red needs to go here. And I think there's one left to go, and it's the blue and orange. And so we'll go ahead and do this move. Okay, so we've got those taken care of. Just above the middle, the edge pieces. And let's look back at the 3x3. So what we want to do here is create a blue cross, and when we have a lineup like this with 3 blues across like that, we do this move right here. Okay, and sometimes it takes twice to get that one done. And then I'll rotate this around to line up. Usually like to line up the red with its side. The yellow happens to line up also, so if that's the case, then I can rotate it around to have the white on this side and the orange there. I do this move, and this should take care of these two pieces being in the right location and orientation. And there we go. So the next thing to do is to get the corner pieces in the right location. And so first you look to see if any are already in, and none of them are in the right location. So you can start anywhere with this move then, and here's what you do. Okay, then you look around again, see if anything lined up. Yes, this one did. And the others are not in the correct location. So I can repeat that move and then hopefully get these in the correct location. And they are. That one, nope, still not in the correct location. Got to do it one more time. Got fooled there because the whole top is looking blue. Okay, so now these 3 remaining pieces are in the correct location, and we'll just need to reorient them to finish that one. Back to over here, we need to get these edge pieces, the lower level edge pieces, in the correct location. It looks like I've got 2 that are lined up. If they're diagonally opposite, that's the problem, because it means I have to repeat the step several times, but we'll do it. So the idea is to have, if you can, rotate this layer around such that there's only one side that lines up. And In this case, I know that that's not going to happen. It's only going to be these two diagonally opposite ones. So the way you do it is you put the one that lines up in the far right side, and then you do this move. This is the longest move on solving the 4x4. And that didn't solve it, but I need to, what it did do is it put the two, they're lined up correctly and oriented correctly together. And when that occurs, you are able to rotate it once or twice around until you only have one, like I said, one that is correctly oriented. Put that one all the way in the right far side, and then do the same move again. And do one more repeat because these still are not in the correct orientation. And there we've got what you would call a cage. So everything is completed except for the four innermost pieces. And there are only two moves you can really do to get these in the correct location, but you have to kind of think about, well, what pieces would you like to swap? You can either swap the lower right with the lower left, or the upper left with the upper right. I do see that I can put a red and blue would be nice to get those both swapped at the same time. So the way to do that is first I have to get the red into that position. So now they're ready to swap, and you do this move. And then bring this piece back to where it was. So that swapped those, and I have a few less to solve for, but I got to keep looking, see if there are any that will make sense to. Here's a red and a green. Well, that won't really help me too much because the greens need to come back here. One thing that would make sense, if I can swap an orange with a red, that will bring this red closer to where it needs to end up being. So I'm going to swap this red with that orange with this move. And then I keep looking around for something else. Basically, I've got three blues that I need to get rid of this side, and but I have two greens that need to go here. So, sensible move would be to put the green there and get the blue closer to where it needs to be. So I do that with this move. And also get another green to swap with a blue would be a good thing. So I'm going to do these two right here. And then bring this back around. Okay, now it looks like I can do some direct swaps between blue and red. First one I see is right here. These two can be swapped. And then one more blue and red from here to here. And now we're down to just two pieces on opposite sides, so I need to I think I can swap this blue with that red, and that will get the blue closer to where it needs to be. And then I can swap this blue with this green, so it will be closer to where it needs to be also. And then I've really just got two left to solve right there, and that'll finish the whole 4x4. We go back to the 3x3, and so these are in the correct location. I just need to orient them now. So the move you make to do that is you put this in the upper right position. You do this move. Pairs line up, rotate, and one more rotate there. Then bring the next one around that needs to be right there. Similar move. Pairs lined up, rotate it, bring that back, and the last piece. And okay, so we're done with 3x3. Now the last part of 4x4 is to do swap the green and the red right here. And we're done. So we've solved both of those.